Hey, what's up, everybody? And you know what? I wasn't actually sure if I was even going to make a review out of this whole thing, but given I just finished watching the show, I say, you know what? Why not? Clash in Paris. I haven't really cared much about the build going into this show out of like a couple matches here and there. But looking of the level of this show, and I know it's another international show, so it's in like the middle of the day type of thing. It started like about 1 o'clock over here, I believe. I'm actually surprised this show wasn't yesterday on Saturday. I actually thought it was going to be on Saturday. I didn't really think it was going to be on Sunday and whatnot, given that I know they were in, France on Friday, so I given that the show is going to be here um, on Saturday. But no, they waited till Sunday. I see it was in a bigger arena, and that I can actually say this time. The stage didn't even look that bad. I did like the little Eiffel Tower thing as part of the stage. That was pretty cool. I'll give it that. But like I said, Clash in Paris. It's gonna be a lot to say about this show, especially for a some would say maybe a C D level show when you really think about it, especially with these international shows. I think what they really rely on, and given that they were in France last year, obviously they're relying on the crowd because you know how hot the crowd is going to be, and they're going to be chanting everything left and right. Some things I'm not going to understand because it's in a different language, but the crowd was obviously hot throughout the entire night. So let's just kind of get that right off the bat from there because they were hot for damn near everybody throughout this show. But let's kick it off though. Roman Reigns versus Bronson Reed. Obviously, Bronson Reed being the whole Shula Fowler thing after taking Roman's shoes. And after he took the shoes, he's been carrying him around like a trophy, beating up Roman Reigns. Obviously, Paul Heyman was out there with him. And man, there's going to be a lot to cover in a lot of this match and after the match, too, which, I'll explain in a few minutes of what I thought at the end. But the match itself, I didn't think it was bad. I know they gave Bronson Reed a lot of offense, obviously, trying to book him as a monster out there against Roman Reigns. Obviously Roman Reigns is coming back and forth against Bronson Reed, running him to like the ring post and knocking him down several times, but Reed was able to counter. Even in like a World Strongest Slam, it looked like onto Roman Reigns, which was pretty good. I'll give it that. Reigns was still trying to had trouble lifting up Bronson Reed several times, but he did get like a big Samoan drop on him at one point. Obviously, Paul Heyman was getting involved in this match, which picking up the shoes, trying to give the Reed to mess with Roman Reigns, and even tried to take Roman Reigns' shoes throughout this match, but Reigns was able to get him off of him. Him with a big clothesline. He did like that whole drive back kick, like ring steps to the outside. Then coming back with like some Superman punches, but Reed doing a big dive to the outside, which was pretty crazy. Even getting him back into the ring, hitting a senton on him for another 2 count. Um, Reed was able to still counter Reigns from the spear, hitting a kick on him. Reigns still kept coming back with like several more Superman punches throughout this match. I know Bronson tried to go for the tsunami, but Reigns got out of the way. Reigns went for a spear, but Reed got him with a big power bomb then for a near fall. Reed went back up top and was going to do another tsunami, but Reigns ended up cutting him off, hit him with like another Superman punch. He had another Superman punch once he was on the ground. Even in like a Samoan drop off the top, like the second rope then. And then Reigns hit one more spear for the win. But then we get to the aftermath of this match, which went, by the way, this was very long. This literally took up the first hour of the entire show. Exactly, I believe, 52 minutes. So, listen, when it comes to these 5 match pay-per-views, or apparently 6 this time, I guess, WWE and Triple H actually decided to count past 5 for once and go with 6. But, I always felt like when they do these 5 match shows, they got to make things look longer than possible. By the way, this show was damn near like 4 to 5 hours, okay? Because it started like about 1 o'clock over here, like I stated earlier, and it didn't even really go off to like damn near 5 o'clock. So it's like, does this show really need to go this long with 6 matches just to stretch things out? Including you had the advertisements and commercials and stuff. Like they make these things go long for a 5, 6 match show. But as I said, after Reigns, after he won, he took his shoes back, obviously, because he was on the announce table first and putting the one in the sky. Heyman was in the ring trying to help Bronson Reed. He turned around, and Reigns was right there. Heyman was terrified. He tried to, grovel and beg, saying my tribal chief and everything. But Reigns ended up putting Heyman like into a guillotine in and stuff after, Heyman gave him his shoes, the shoes back. So as Reigns put him down, he took the shoes then and he got on top of the table and even signed the shoes and threw them into the crowd. Obviously, somebody's either going to make a lot of money off of that off eBay, or they will save that as a souvenir, as a signed shoe from Roman Reigns. Don't know if anybody's going to fit his shoe size. I don't know what his shoe size is, but hey, I'm sure that's a nice memento to keep. And as Reigns was celebrating, Braun Breaker ran across the other announce table, spearing him to the ground then as the table broke. Like I said, Braun ended up getting the ring with Bronson Reed right after as they helped Heyman up after being choked down. They were about to help him to the back as Reigns tried to walk out on his own, but Braun came back with another spear then. And they just start beating up Roman Reigns, throwing him back into the ring, hit like about 2 tsunamis then. Adam Pearce and them tried to come out and stop it with the security and stuff. And they ended up putting him onto a stretcher then right after. But once again, Reed came back, hit another tsunami when he was on the stretcher then. And then finally somebody came out to help Roman Reigns. It took Jey Uso this long to actually come out and help him. Like, dude, you think he would have helped after like the first couple spears and tsunamis, even before the damn stretcher? Like, he waited till after the stretcher and after he got tsunamied on the stretcher to finally come out and help. Like, no faces came out to really help Roman Reigns. And you think Jey Uso be the first one early. I know he's in the main event later on in the night, but he took forever to come out. He super kicked him out the ring, and he checked on Reigns, but like I said, they end up coming back then. Braun hit another spear on him. They were going to do a tsunami on Uso, but security stopped them. But then, once again, Bronson Reed ran to the other side, hit another tsunami onto Reigns on the stretcher. Like I said, this was the first hour of the entire show. The match was like 22 minutes, but if you count the entire aftermath, I had to look like, man, this took up like the first hour. I'm like 50-something minutes. This was the first hour, and some would say Heyman was the one that booked this to keep, obviously this makes the heels look very strong and look like monsters, but, dude, this was just another way to write out Roman Reigns, because I guess he has to go film another movie or something. I don't know if he even filmed Street Fighter already, but, we see so many of these, Reigns hiatuses at this point. It's like he's just going to come back every month, and they keep doing a Roman Reigns returns. Roman Reigns returns. Didn't he just return like several weeks ago? Didn't he return like last month? Didn't he return like 2 weeks ago? Oh, no, he's out again. So this was just another way to write him off TV again. It's like he'll do one pay-per-view match, probably win or lose, come back the next night or something, and then they'll just do an injury angle where they beat him up, and then we won't see him till like the next month or two. So I'm assuming Roman Reigns won't be back until like what, Survivor Series maybe, or maybe by October. I don't know, okay? Because I don't think he'll be back tomorrow night. So obviously this is just going to write him off TV again for a while. And it's like, after a while, I was like, I get when you do these injury angles, but at some point, it's not going to mean much all the way, especially when you constantly keep doing it. Like, when you just do it all the time, it's like, okay, he's going to come back, maybe get his lick back. He'll do, like, some brawl thing on Raw, mostly on Raw, because now he's on SmackDown right now. And he'll probably have a promo, then he'll do the match. And then he disappears. And man, you got a doorbell going when the match is going. When I'm reviewing this. It's crazy. Get what I mean? Okay, but yeah, after the doorbell thing, after I was in mid talking about this whole show, as I was saying about Roman, like I said, obviously he's gonna get written off TV again, and everything I just said about 52 minutes and stuff, or basically the first hour of the show. So, like I said, it's just another one of these, like, he gets written off TV because he has to film something and won't be back, but it does kind of become repetitive and in a way loses its meaning because it's like he's just going to step in, then step back out, and then you're not going to see him for like another month. So it's like, how many injury angles can you do to keep kind of writing him in and off TV? So like I said, this was just a very long injury angle. But right after that, then the Street Profits went against the Wyatt Six for the WWE Tag Team titles. I know the Profits came out. Borderlands 4 is coming soon, so that was their gear. I don't have much to say about this match. I feel like this match could have been on SmackDown for the titles. I was actually surprised this match was even added to this show and everything. Now, I guess they are kind of somewhat teasing the Profits to break up, because I did see Bo Dallas actually walking around, kind of playing mind games with people, and even with the Profits, if one could trust the other, and they did kind of look at each other at one point, wondering, will this still be a team or something like that, of who's going to turn on who. And I know it ended up with obviously the rest of the Wyatt Six getting involved, Bo Dallas and Rowan and stuff, which, they end up Dallas ended up hitting the Sister Abigail on the Montez Ford to the outside. And then like Joe Gacy and Dexter Lumis got the win. Like I said, it wasn't a bad match or anything, but I felt like this could have been on SmackDown. But then again, we never see any type of tag team title match on any of these pay-per-views. So at least this is the second go around, because like I said, we never see any type of tag team title match except back at SummerSlam. And that was just a wild, chaotic TLC match just to get all the teams on the card and whatnot. And then finally, at least you have a tag match, even though someone say it was a little last minute, but at least they finally made the card to something. So I'm assuming the Profits are going to end up probably turn on each other. Will Montez Ford actually become a single star out of this that people have been hoping and asking for? Maybe. So we'll see if they even built this right enough to build up into that breakup. As for the Wyatts, it's whatever to me with them as the tag team champions. At this point, I look at this, I call them Slipknot, or it's just like a Bray Wyatt tribute band at this point, because I don't even know where this goes, but maybe they're trying to do something now with Bo Dallas playing mind games with people, because I said it before, it looks like everybody in this group is like, it never really explained, or maybe it was explained, like why they're all in this whole thing. I get Eric Rowan and Bo Dallas for obvious reasons, but listen, this is all to pay tribute to Bray Wyatt and everything, and keep this Uncle Howdy thing and stuff going. But do I care that much? Really, not much. Like, the people like them, obviously, because of Bray and the Firefly lights and all that. But you kind of wonder, it's like, where does this go? And it's like, are they faces, are they heels, or they just beat up anybody and spook them out? So I guess that's the thing. Next would probably be the worst match of the entire night, Nikki Bella versus Becky Lynch for the Women's Intercontinental Championship. Listen, I had no care about going into this whole thing, and after watching this match wasn't really good. I know a lot of people are going to say Becky did her best to carry this whole thing, but even I have to admit that this was not even good for with Becky. Obviously, the spots that people are going to talk about is whatever Nikki Bella did, jumping off the second rope, trying to do a kick from behind, and Becky had to sell it, or even that spot with like the announce tables trying to hit back and forth on Becky. And then again, what got me, it wasn't even a clean finish all the way. It was just like a roll-up win. And the crowd was very dead for this. It was like they just going off like with the fluke, like a fluky win. So I think it's gonna be Nikki and Becky again in the future to get a decisive, clean win. But like I said before, man, it's like I didn't care going into this. The crowd was very quiet for this. Even the fans, they were mostly with Becky throughout the entire match. Nobody did not give a crap about Nikki Bella or wanted to see this match, because I didn't want to see this match at all. I didn't care. I didn't really pay much attention to the feud. I actually thought it was already done when what was it? I'm trying to remember what part. But it went Becky came out and cut that promo and did the whole John Cena, like, oh, you can't see him anymore. I actually thought it was over after that. It's like, dude, we don't even need to do this match. Like, Becky already killed her in the promo and stuff. So, it's just, to me, I didn't care for this. I didn't really want to see Nikki Bella in general. I was actually surprised this is going to go this long and stuff. Listen, I've said this for about the Bellas in the past. I don't really care. I still think it's laughable with them in the Hall of Fame. But then again, there's a lot of people you question in this whole WWE Hall of Fame. But I will say this: is she better than Brie Bella? Yeah. I think she had some pretty good matches towards towards her end. Yes, but this was not it. Okay, this really wasn't all that. And like I said, it's obviously gonna continue since Becky got like a roll up pin onto Nikki Bella for the win, and I'm sure everybody's gonna have a field day with the botches, obviously, and stuff. So it's like I said, I didn't care for this. Obviously, the crowd was quiet for this. I think it was probably the worst match of the entire night. Like I said, Becky, she looked like she did what she could to kind of carry this whole thing. The Bellas, like I said, not Bellas, but just Nikki Bella, it's whatever. Okay, it's literally whatever, because I don't really care, or either that or whatever goofy stuff she's probably saying on the internet or podcasts or whatever, which I've already seen a few takes, is just laughable. But like I said, this match, it is what it is. But I feel like it will continue again for some reason. So that's it for the Women's Intercontinental title match. So let's move on. And I actually thought this was probably one of the best matches of the night next. But Sheamus versus Rusev in a good old-fashioned Donnybrook match. Now, as for this feud with Rusev and Sheamus, have been on Raw for over a month or two now, with them going back and forth with each other. Multiple brawls, somewhat cheating to win by Rusev, which people have even questioned Rusev's return in WWE to where this is really going with him. I will say this about the match. I actually, like I said, I think this was a great brawl. It was some pretty rough spots in there. Obviously, you got kendo sticks involved, and you got that table, like a bar table out there. The shillelagh being involved, them tearing off the turnbuckle pads and stuff. It was a lot of crazy stuff in this match, especially the welts and marks they had even after it too. But going back and forth with chairs. Sheamus, I know he missed the chair trying to hit Rusev with him. Rusev hit him with like a big kick with the chair in his face, which got a big 2 count. Rusev putting like the chair and over the ropes and even kicking Sheamus a whole bunch of times but trying to throw him into it. Um, Sheamus ended up taking him over to like the bar table, then hitting like the 10 bells of the bast or bell bat. You know what I mean? When he hit you across the chest and stuff. I can't believe I forgot what the name of that move. But Rusev ended up throwing Sheamus over the bar table thing, and he grabbed the bar stool. But and so I think he was gonna hit him with it, but Sheamus ended up stopping him then. And then you had the shillelagh and start hitting him with. Sheamus, ended up trying to lift Rusev back into the ring. Hit a Celtic cross for the 2 count then. Was going for the bro kick, but Rusev rolled to the outside. And I know they were on top of Rusev hit him with a kendo stick. And then he took off the steel steps and then hit like a big uranagi on into like the bar table thing. Which by the way, Sheamus's head kind of hit like the one of because it looked rough to go through. Obviously, he wasn't gonna go through safely through that all the way. And then obviously hit the back of his head, which Rusev had dragged him back into the ring. Then trying to go for the accolade, and stuff. But Sheamus ended up slamming him to a chair. They went to the outside. They climbed up a whole bunch of barrels. Then like the whole bunch of whiskey barrels, and you could see the referee trying to hold on to the barrels and stuff. Next thing you know, Sheamus hit the white noise off the barrels, and they both went to the onto the two tables to the ground, which, like I said, you have to pin or submit to get in the ring. So they had to drag themselves back into the ring. Then Rusev had grabbed the shillelagh, but Sheamus hit him with a bro kick for a near fall. Sheamus had went for Rusev again, but Rusev kicked him, hit his big running knee. Sheamus did, but Rusev countered it, threw him into the turnbuckle, hit him with another kick, and stuff. And he kicked Sheamus's head, and then Rusev, he what did he do? Like, he hit him with the shillelagh, I believe, but it was still a 2 count. And then Rusev went for another accolade by holding on to the shillelagh. It was like a leverage and stuff. And Sheamus ended up tapping out. So I gotta say, this was one hell of a match. Will Rusev now get a bigger push now after going against Sheamus in this crazy Donnybrook match? I don't know. I know Rusev ever since he got back. It's been kind of like started off a little bit hot, but then it's been kind of like whatever with him. But most of this feud with Sheamus has been really good. I wouldn't say the entire feud, but this match was really good. So I thought it was one of the best things of the night so far at the time. So like I said, both guys beat the living hell out of each other and took some really rough bumps out there too. So brutal stuff. But you're gonna get a brawl when you got Sheamus and Rusev. So hell of a match. Next was John Cena versus Logan Paul. Obviously, this was obviously another big match itself here, which I'm actually surprised this match went this long, by the way, too. This match went 26 minutes, by the way. And listen, I will say this. I don't care much about the feud. I didn't even really want to see this. Listen, I already know Logan Paul is really going to have a good match with damn near anybody. Like I said, you can't deny what Logan Paul does in the ring. You can't deny that at all. What do you like him in that? Did I care much about going into this? Not really. And I already kind of thought in my head what was going to happen in this match. I knew the match was going to be good, but I figured it was going to be some Brock music interference thing, and then Logan Paul wins, and Cena does the job and all that stuff, because it's so funny. It's like when it's face Cena, he never wins. But when it's heel Cena, he actually wins then. But it's a lot of things to take in within this match and stuff. Okay? Like there's a lot to take about this. With both of these guys. Obviously, Cena's doing his 5 moves of doom and everything. Logan Paul countering it, even hitting a buckshot lariat at one point. I know he did like his Paul from Grace thing move, but Cena came back with an FU then. He was going to go for another FU, but Logan got him to like a submission into the octopus. Cena came back with the STFU then after that, but Logan got to the ropes then. I think Logan was bleeding from his face or somewhere at some point. There was some blood in this match. But Cena ended up trying to go for like another FU, but Logan Paul took him down. It was another 2 count then. He was trying to go for the knockout punch, but Cena got out the way, trying to hit his finisher again. Logan Paul hit the zigzag. He went for another buckshot lariat, but Cena get him with a big clothesline and counter it right after. Um, Logan Paul tried to go for like I think it was like a moonsault or something, but Cena ended up stopping him. I know he hit like the end of days at one point. That was pretty crazy. They got back. They did the whole yay boo punch thing. Cena ran into Paul, but Logan Paul picked him up, which looked like it's supposed to be an uppercut or something, like the elbow European uppercut, but he just like hit him like in the stomach and stuff. Logan Paul started stealing Cena's moves, doing his own 5 moves of doom then, but Cena ended up popping up, hitting with the FU then. Still another 2 count. They end up punching back each other, which in a way, someone you could say repetitive once the finisher fest kind of came in, but then Cena hits like a damn code red then for a 2 count. And then Cena going back for another FU, which, like I said, it's a finisher fest after a while, but Logan Paul got out of it and stuff. But then Cena ended up, he hit a Styles Clash damn near. Because, yeah, he hit the Styles Clash on him. Still a big 2 count. Cena ended up going for the second rope because they went to the top rope then. And Logan Paul pushed him off. Logan Paul went for a crossbody. Cena rolled it up, hit him with an FU, went for a second FU then after that. But yeah, like Logan Paul that punched Cena, but Cena came right back. Like he leaned off the rope. Like Logan Paul, I guess, hit him with the knockout punch thing, but Cena leaned off the rope, came back, hit him with another FU, and finally it was over after 26 minutes. I know commentary tried to say this was like match of the year. That's kind of crazy to be saying that. Which don't get me wrong, I don't think this match was bad at all. I'm surprised it went this long for 26 minutes. I get SummerSlam going damn near 30, even though that was like a weapons finisher fest. But this was Cena without any type of weapons and everything. I know Cena's whole retirement run thing has been very topsy-turvy, up and down. The heel turn, the magical face turn, just it's a lot to still, and I know there's still more to go into this of who his next opponent will be. I actually thought Cena wasn't even gonna win here. I was like, you know what, they're just gonna put Logan Paul over. And like I said earlier before I started this review for the match, that the match was gonna go, Brock's music was gonna hit, and then Logan Paul will probably win, and by heel tactics. But no, Cena won clean, surprisingly. And then, he celebrated with that kid he made fun of in Brussels or something months ago. And then, like, he kissed his wife and everything, and then, like, shook Jelly Roll and Post Malone's hand and stuff. So, yeah, Cena celebrated and got the big win right here. Did I think this match needed to be 26 minutes? No, but then again, like I said, this 5-6 match show, they want these things to go long and stretch this as long as possible and stuff. So that's kind of like every pay-per-view nowadays with these 5-match things. Like, we're gonna stretch as long as possible. But like I said, a lot of crazy moves in this match, but I don't think it needed to go this long. But still enjoyable nonetheless. But as we now move towards the main event of this show, obviously Seth Rollins' interview before this match even started, saying like, I don't have any help tonight. Obviously B&B security was kicked out and Paul Heyman was headed to the hospital. What happened earlier, but he's going to prove he can do this by his own, and if he can't do that, he doesn't deserve to be champion. But in the main event, we had a fatal 4-way for the World Heavyweight Championship. Jey Uso versus LA Knight versus CM Punk versus Seth Rollins. And obviously the crowd was still hot for this match. And of course, the crowd just sings along to everybody's theme song at this point. But seeing people sing along all the Punk's theme song is still pretty funny. Funny like in a good way, but fun and crazy to see. The Fatal 4-Way itself, obviously the faces were trying to gang up on Rollins, wanting to take him out so they can sell this amongst themselves, even though the faces kept turning back on each other here and there. And, Jey Uso, who was still kind of hurt, so he was kind of wrapped up. Obviously, Punk and Knight kept arguing with each other. Even when Punk and Uso did the yeet thing, LA Knight like, nah. We got to put him through a table then. And then they pull out a table and stuff, and Punk telling Jay get the tables and everything. But then, Jay ended up super kicking Punk and then clothesline, Knight clothesline Rollins. So obviously, everybody's going to turn on each other. Throughout this match, I'm not trying to name every move. I think the match wasn't bad. Obviously, going to get a lot of counter moves back and forth. Rollins in a buckle bomb onto LA Knight going for the frog splash there, but then Uso coming back, taking down Rollins, throwing him out, going for the pin. Rollins hitting the curb stomp on the I think LA Knight stomped him and everything and threw him to the outside of ring. I think he put him through a table at one point because, like I said, that's when the finisher fest was coming into play and kind of going back after. But yeah, as the match went on and stuff, I'm trying to remember every move and what. I know LA Knight like a BFT on to Rollins, but the pin was broken up then. And then like through the like what was it, the commentary table, like LA Knight he kept slamming Jey Uso's head off the table and did the Rollins also, getting the yeah thing and stuff. And then LA Knight had put Rollins onto the table then and was going to like the second rope to jump off of, which he did the elbow on the Rollins through the table, so that was pretty crazy. But Rollins ended up moving, so LA Knight basically crashed and burned. I know Punk went through like the Slim Jim table outside. Uso at the splash on Rollins to the outside then was pretty crazy. And then he got him back into the ring, but Rollins super kicked him in. Uso went for the spear. Rollins hit him with like a pedigree. Like he ran into the spear and hit him with a pedigree for a 2 count. Rollins was going to go for the Phoenix Splash, but Uso got out the way. He super kicked Rollins, went for another splash then. Punk stopped it then. Punk ended up hitting Jey Uso with a GTS right after. And then, on Uso, but Rollins broke the pin. And then he started yelling at Punk then after, like, trying to do the curb stomp on him, even putting his head into the chair. He says, I will make sure you will never become champion. I don't want you anymore. And he went for the curb stomp onto the chair, but Punk got out of it and hurt his own knee. Right after Punk hit a GTS on him, Rollins moved off across the ropes, fell back onto the Punk, GTS'd him again, and was about to go for the GTS again. But then next thing you know, someone all black showed up and low blow Punk, which it was Becky Lynch. You could tell it was Becky. Like, I know a lot of people on the internet kept thinking that Austin Theory was going to be part of the group, that this was going to be some evolution type thing. I never saw that happening. But I figured Becky would be in this group, obviously, because it's his wife. So he was going to get some help one way or another. But, Becky being part of the group, like I said, I'm not surprised in a way, but it would make things interesting to see how it goes now, given she's in the group. Like I said, she low blowed Punk. And then Rollins hit the curb stomp and won the match from there as Rollins and Becky celebrated. So, both of them being in the same group, it's his wife and everything, the whole Vision, B&B Security, or whatever this group is called anymore. We'll see how it goes. I know some people are going to be rumoring now, will Punk bring AJ? Will AJ Lee finally make her return to wrestling? Will it actually happen this time, and it'll be a tag match with Rollins and Becky versus Punk and AJ? Could it happen? Maybe. Could AJ return? Possibly. Rollins pinning Punk, obviously this adds more to this story and to the eventual Punk getting the pin over Rollins, even though he's already beat Rollins before. But when he pins him for the world title, because obviously Rollins is doing everything he can to screw Punk out of the championship, and it screwed him again now by bringing his wife into play. So obviously, whenever they get to the culmination of that, don't know if it'll be by WrestleMania next year or whatever big match, something that's got to end it. Maybe some type of crazy hardcore Hell in a Cell. I don't know. Hell, they've already had a steel cage match, so this feud continues with Punk and Rollins. So obviously, this continues the story. Obviously, me going into this match, I figured LA Knight or Jey Uso was gonna take the pin. I didn't think LA Knight all the way because he's still popular, but I'm not saying he doesn't matter in this whole feud, but he has someone kind of been cold. Jey Uso, I wouldn't have been surprised if he took the pin, but if he had took the pin, fucking Rikishi would have got on the internet then and be pissed off that why would you pin Jey? Why would you pin Jey? But hey, I think Rikishi has enough problems right now with his own promotion. And listen, I know I haven't done a video about the whole Raja Jackson situation. I think I will probably do now, given that there's been so much information in the past week, because I kind of thought about doing it off the get-go, but given all the takes I've seen and the new information, everyone that's involved, that deserves its own video, because that's a lot for me to say to cover all of that from everything I've heard in the past week involving the whole, like I said, Raja Jackson Psycho Stu thing. So I will make a video about that soon, because I feel like it's going to be more new information by the time I put out that video anyways. But I have a lot to say about that when I get to it, okay? But other than that, though, this whole show, like I said, this is a C-level show and everything, but I think what they really heavily relied on was the actual crowd itself, knowing how hot they were going to be throughout the entire night. Me personally, everything I liked from this show, I did really like the Donnybrook match. I think Cena and Logan Paul was really good. I think the worst match was the Women's Intercontinental title match. The Tag Team title match was kind of whatever, but maybe the Profits will turn. Roman and Bronson Reed wasn't bad, but I didn't think that whole thing needed to be 1 hour, but they needed to stretch time. And the main event was pretty good too, with the surprise of Becky Lynch getting involved and joining Seth Rollins and his crew. So it moves along the story and stuff, okay? But I hope I didn't forget any other match I talked about on this show. But yeah, that's basically kind of it. Looking at this whole pay per view for Clash of Paris and everything. So like I said, it was just mostly like a hot crowd and stuff throughout the entire night. Okay, I said that through the get go in the beginning of this whole thing. So yeah. But yeah, other than that, I'm out of here. I'll see you guys later. Comment, subscribe. Tell me what you thought about this Clash in Paris show. If you even watched it, or did you like it? Did you not like it? I don't know. Tell me what you thought about it. But other than that, like I said, comment, subscribe. I'm repeating myself. Hit that like button, hit that notification bell, and yeah, I'm out of here and enjoy y'all Labor Day weekend. Peace out.